I don't wait
I don't talk to you. Jesus. I didn't even know that people had packed. And people are leaving. See, people are leaving. The other streets, I didn't even record. Everybody's leaving. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Favor Andrews and I do a little bit of everything. Please go down, click on the subscribe button and join the Dark Girl family. And if you're a returning subscriber, hi, and thanks for always, coming on here. Oh well, today we're going to be having a story time. So yes, like as you've seen the title, or as the title says, I want to share my my Russia-Ukraine war experience with you guys. So let's get right into it. Okay, so it all started on the 24th of February. So that day I woke up around 4, about 4:04ish, and for no reason I just woke up and I can't remember what I was doing. I know I didn't go online to like check people's stories or whatever, because normally maybe I'll just go through people's stories, but that day, like for some weird reason, I didn't do any of those. I can't remember what I was doing. Can't remember if I was watching videos on YouTube or something. So at about 5:45 or thereabout, I heard two loud sounds, like doom doom, like how do you call it, like backlash of maybe like an explosion or something. And prior to this day, we've been hearing of the Russia's threat of invading Ukraine, this and that. Myself, I was even catching cruise with the whole thing, and I'm like, I beg, before they even do anything, they should let us know so that we leave their country for them and all of that. Aside that, I did not leave because a lot of us couldn't leave because school said we should all stay put and everything, and that they have eyes at the border, and if anything is going to happen, they're going to let us know. So we're just taking unawares. So that day, after I heard the two loud sounds, I paid attention, like I listened attentively to my surroundings, and I did not hear any hustling, bustling or anything. Everywhere was actually very calm, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it could be anything. And then I slept back around 6. So around 6, I think 6:30ish, my friend, she stays in Kyiv, she called me and I picked her call, and she's like, baby girl, you're still sleeping. No, it wasn't around 6, around 7. She called me and she's like, baby girl, you're still sleeping. Kyiv is on fire. I said, Kyiv is on fire, how? What's happening? She said that they just bombed some part of Kyiv, this, that. I'm like, wait. And funny enough, the previous day, me and her had a conversation, and she was asking me if actually this thing happens, like, do you have any backup plan, anything? I'm like, guy, honestly, I don't have any plan or anything. And she's not even telling me that, oh, she still has her return ticket, this and that. But if anything happens, where are you even going to? What's your return ticket going to do? Because I mean, everywhere is going to be like on a shutdown. So when she called me, and then she was telling me that this and that, Kyiv is on fire, that she tried to go to work and she tried ordering Uber, Bolt, and the app wasn't working, that everywhere is just in chaos. And I'm like, okay, chill. I ended the call, and then I think I called my mom, because I didn't even ask anybody. Okay, that's when I went and I was seeing people's stories. Oh, this is happening, oh, that is happening, Kharkov is on fire, everybody is running. I'm like, for this to be where I did, for this same Ukraine, because my cities felt like nothing was happening. So I called my mom and I was telling her what I heard. Already before this time, my grandma kept telling me, pack your box like an emergency box that you can take with you if anything happens. Make sure your documents are intact, carry a few clothes. And I kept saying, yes, grandma, I'm going to do it, and I was always procrastinating. I never did it. So when I was talking to my mom, telling her what I heard, my friend from Harkov called me, and I didn't pick his call. I sent him a text telling him that I'll call him shortly, that I'm on a call with my mom. And he called me again, like, and I'm like, this is weird because he has seen my message, but he's still calling. I'm like, okay, mommy, chill. Let me pick this guy's call. I'm going to call you back. That's how I picked his call. And he said, babe, you sit on top bed. I said, what happened? He said, guy, how come it's on fire? Everybody's running. He not even switched his camera. He now said, see, we are finished packing. We are ready to move. I'm like, okay. And I went to my window. I opened my window. And I saw my neighbors walking in and out of their apartments like nothing was happening. I'm like, okay. I now packed my box, put some documents, like all my documents. I put them in my box. I took a few clothes. And then I went to the Bolt app to order a ride, and truly, Bolt was not working. I opened Uklon. Uklon wasn't working. I'm like, damn, okay. I think at this point, I need to like walk because my house is a bit far from the hostel. Like, yeah, it's quite a distance from the hostel. So immediately I called my friends. I told them, this is what's up. Like, some of them were still sleeping. I'm like, you are still sleeping, you're not hearing what's happening. Oh yeah, pack your things. In my mind, I'm like, we're going to Lviv this morning because from Lviv you can easily leave Ukraine. So I carried my stuffs, I locked my house. On getting outside, in fact, after walking out of my apartment, because my apartment is like, it's not an estate, it's not in an estate, but that place, it looks like an estate, like the whole setting and everything. So after I walked out and I got to the main road, God, the road was crowded. Everybody with their bags, with their luggages, with their phone on their ears. Sumi is unnecessarily, not unnecessarily busy. Everybody's packing. I was inside my house. I didn't even know that people had packed and people are leaving. See, people are leaving. The other streets, I didn't even record. Everybody's leaving. I'm like, so this is how I've been inside my house thinking that all is well. I kept going and I saw the ATM. The ATM queue got like from the ATM to the road, and there was a curve. The queue was so long, and there's this grocery store around there. The store was filled, like they were piling outside too. I'm like, what exactly is going on? Because I honestly don't get. The road that I'm even talking about was not like a major road like that though. So I now got to the major road. I saw cars. They were queuing to buy gas, fuel. I'm like, hey, I was thinking this cruise, this play. Like, so this is actually serious. Guys, see me walking. I was walking. I didn't look back. I was walking and rolling my box, and I was just going. I walked until I got to the hostel. Meanwhile, my friends too, they had left the apartment, coming back to the hostel. I went back to the hostel because if anything happens, like maybe the whole chaos got really, really intense and they want to help students out, is in the hostel they're going to go, like, to rescue students. They can't go to each person's apartment. So I'm like, okay, I feel like the first thing I should do is get to the hostel, all of my friends and everything. So I got to the hostel and the rest of us got there. We now had to go because they were like, stock up on food, stock up on water, stock up on anything you might need during this period. So we went to the grocery store. Guy, see the queue. We could not, like, and God, some grocery stores were packing up. Like, trucks came and they were offloading their stores into the truck, probably maybe taking it to their homes or something. Some stores were not even selling to anybody. And then some stores, like a lot of stores, in fact that day no store was taking card payments. Everybody was taking, like, all the stores were taking cash payments. And me, sometimes, most of the time, I don't have cash on me. I'm always on, like, I always have money on my card. So it was really, like, really, really hard. We had to, like, pair up to, like, get food stuffs and all of that. While we're even outside waiting to get into the store, like on the queue and everything, we had another loud explosion. This one felt like it was like just in front of us, but it was just a sound, nothing at sight. Guy, this thing I'm even talking about and laughing, it was no joke. Everybody was scared. Everybody, oh well. That day we successfully got foodstuffs. we didn't even get enough. We couldn't even get water that day because all the water, like I'm talking about, this is about, okay, from 7, say this is like about 9 a.m. all the water in the grocery store was sold out. Most of the food stuffs were sold out. Like, we couldn't even get enough food stuff and stuff. So we carried all we could get from the store, went back to the hostel, and nobody was even eating individually, like on their own. Everybody, one person will cook and share with everybody, one person will cook and share with everybody. That's how we're basically like surviving and all. So after that day, we kept on, you know, we're inside, we're not going out, and we're seeing people's stories, people's updates that, oh, people have been leaving Kyiv, people have been leaving Kharkov, using the train, this and that and that. Some people use taxi. And honestly, my mind, I don't know what I was thinking. I can't remember what was going through my mind at that moment. But we're like, okay, let's just stay put, because Sumy was like, in my city, Sumy was like in the midst of the war zone. Like, it was surrounded by the war zone. So if you're leaving Sumy, your rest assured, like, it's sure that you're going to go and jam one thing on the way. So we could not even like leave. At some point, the road leading in and out of Sumy, like the major road, was bombed, something like that. So even if you want to make attempts to leave, how are you leaving? No train was coming to Sumy or leaving Sumy unless the train and the railways were bombed or something like that. I don't know how true that is, but then yeah, that's what we heard, because actually no train was coming. There were days they said, oh, train will come by this time, train will come by that time. People went to the train station. Even with the insurgency, like, people were not walking on the road, and everybody was advised to stay indoors and not go out. But these people still went to the train station. I'm like, it cannot be me. You people shall go. If I hear that the train came, wait, I can go the next day. So they went, and then no train showed up. They had to come back to the hostel. And a lot of people left Ukraine, Kyiv, other cities, and those of us in Sumy, we were still stuck in Sumy. We could not move, we could not do anything. We couldn't even get food stuff at some point anymore because the stores ran out of food stuff, ran out of water. At some point, we were drinking gas water because, like, there was no pure water, pure mineral water to drink. So we were drinking gas water. So finally, we found a way to leave Sumy. And that was by using a cab. Like, we'll call anybody that knows a cab driver. Okay, there's this app in Driver that we could search and find drivers, and then we'll call them and negotiate prices. So I remember after I discovered that, I reached out to a driver and I told him, oh, we want to leave Sumy to Poltava, because from Poltava it's easy to get a train. On a normal day, Sumy to Poltava is like 3 hours or less, or 2 hours, and we would pay less than $100. Like, it's about 400 hryvnias or 200 hryvnias to get there, if I'm not mistaken. That's not even not even close to $100. So I'm like, okay, we want to leave Sumy to Poltava, and yeah, the man said, okay, 50,000 hryvnias. And 50,000 hryvnias is like 1 million naira approximately. I'm like, check this man. In fact, that was not the first one I saw. I saw 25k hryvnias. So when I was even reasoning with that one, that 25k hryvnias is too much, please, that's like 500,000 naira. I'm like trying to reason with the man and everything, and I got another contact. I didn't keep all the contacts to myself. I shared them amongst my friends. So I got another contact, and this one now even said 50,000 hryvnias. I'm like, Shay, they why me? They mad at me. Which one is 50,000 hryvnias? You know how much that is in naira? And the man was arguing that, oh no, he's not going to go, this and that and that. So finally, the other driver came and picked my friends, and then yeah, they left. I think they got to Poltava, Abi Migorod, either Poltava or Migorod. So they got there, and then they were able to. This time that we're even leaving Sumy, I feel like the stress and everything had reduced, because as at the time that other people were leaving Ukraine, I know somebody that trekked for 11 hours, 14 hours. Like, I can't even imagine going through that kind of a stress. So these ones that left, like my friends that left before us, they got there, they got to, I think, Poltava, and then they spent the night at the train station. They could get a train the next day, and that was it. But me, that was not the one, like, I was giving out info on how to leave Sumy. I was the one that was stuck. People were leaving every day. There was one time, because when I even told my mom what the driver said, he said 50,000 grievance. My mother said, so what did you say? I said, how will I pay 50,000 grievance? My mother said, my mother started shouting at me, why would I joke with my life? That what is 50,000 grievance compared to my life? So my mom told me to accept the 50,000 grievance offer. So as at this time, I was actually like begging drivers, looking for any driver that would go for 50,000 grievance, because at this time, some of them said they were not going anymore. See, with all of these things that have been happening, like from 24th of February, almost every night, we always have to run to the bunker.
I don't come here. Jesus. Your clothes, your clothes. If I want to fight that, this is an experience. Are you already broke here? Who gave me?
God, see, there's a place inside.
Stephanie! Yes, Dega.
Like 5 days. So you expect to buy.
No, that side is one, so let's stay here. I remember one night as we were running. In fact, the very first night, I ran out in my nightwear. Like, my friend ran out with just shorts. We got down and we didn't even carry anything. We didn't carry our passports, nothing. We just ran like that. We had to go back up to the 4.5 floor to change, carry our documents. And so all this while we're there, almost every night, we're always running in and out of the bunker. So finally, I got a driver. I was able to get a driver and means for I and my friends, because we came together and we're all staying in my room. So I was able to get means for I and my friends to leave Sumi. So we left Sumi and we got to Poltava. From Poltava, in fact, when we got to Poltava, God, you needed to see the amount of people at the train station. There were a lot, like people that were there even before us. So while we're at Poltava, there was no schedule. Like, the trains were not coming at the scheduled time. They came unexpectedly. So you shall just have to wait there by the tracks and wait for any time a train is going to come, and you have to like hustle and tussle your way in. So when the train was about to come, the soldiers came and they announced the order of entrance, like the order at which they'll be entering the train. First, the mothers with babies. Second, blah blah blah. I shall know that the last set were young girls and then young guys. So when the first train came, I was actually with this lady. She had a child. So when the first train came, she could hustle her way inside because of her child. I couldn't enter the first train. The first train was a speed train. So in fact, there was one soldier there. He was very, very hostile. He'd be cocking his gun, he'd be shouting. All of that for what now? So the first train came and left. I and my friend were still there. We could not enter. So we waited, and then another train came. Okay, while we're even standing there, so one soldier came to talk to I and my friend. So he was asking us where, because most times they feel, I don't know how to put it, but they're always excited anytime they see blacks. Some of them, the ones that are not racist, they're always excited when they see blacks. So they try to have a conversation, even when they can't speak English fluently or properly. They just try and meander their way around it. So they came to talk to I and my friend, asking us where we're from, and they were just like trying to converse with us. So they later left. So after the first train came and left, we couldn't enter. We waited. We're still waiting there, and then another train came, the sleeping train. And this other wild soldier was also doing his thing, trying to like maintain order, how people entered. And there's one door that was very, very busy. So my friend said we should move to that other side. So luckily for us, we saw one of the soldiers that was trying to talk to us, because there were two. So he told us to come, and he told us to enter. Like every other person, even the Ukrainians, waited, and we majestically climbed with our boxes, and then we entered. And then we now met another nice lady inside. She took us to a cabin with 2 other old people, so we didn't even have a problem. We had a space to charge, to sleep. So we just arranged our stuff, climbed the beds, and we slept. Yeah, we left Sumi on the 7th of March to Poltava, and then we got to Poltava that same 7th. So that's the night of that 7th, we found a train from Poltava going to Lviv. Was it to Lviv? Yes. So we got to Lviv the next day in the afternoonish. So when we got to Lviv, we met other people that came from Ukraine to from Sumi most especially, because other parts of Ukraine, like people had already fled the other parts of Ukraine. So we reunited there again. So from Lviv, we got a bus that was going to Chop. We all contributed money to pay for the bus, take us from Chop to one of the Hungarian borders. So yeah, we did that, and we got to the border, and apparently that border, the bus had to drop us and would actually like trek through the border. So on getting there, they said, oh, this is a border that we can't walk through, we have to like drive through. So we now went back to the bus driver and told him, after all the parring and everything, he now said okay. He now took us to Chop railway station so that we could take a train that would take us from Chop through another border. So we waited there for a very, very long time, and we didn't find, no train came. So I actually I had to make calls, and then I got some drivers' numbers that can come and take us from the railway station to another border that we can walk through. So I called some drivers, I called some people. After everything, I was able to reach a driver that agreed to come and take us for 2,000 grivens. 2,000 grivens, that's like less than $100, a little lesser than $100. So he came, he took us, and then like people now realize that, oh, they can actually like get a cab that can take them from Chop railway station to the Hungarian border. So we got to the border, and then we walked through. They stamped our passports. No, they didn't stamp our passports. They got our passports first. Did some thumb printing things, fingerprint stuff, and then they now told us to go and wait. We now waited for a very long time, and then they were now calling us one by one. Then when we go, I think they did some kind of documentation on their system or something. They now stamped us into Hungary, and then a bus now came and took the first set of people. I think I was among the first batch. Took us to Budapest. No, took us to a train station in Hungary, not Budapest. A train station in Hungary. So I think there we bought train tickets. It wasn't expensive, it was cheap. I can't remember, but it was like about 50 something or about 100 or something for each person. So we got train tickets from that city, I don't even know what the name of that city is, to Budapest. So around 5 a.m. the train that was taking us to Budapest came. So I and my friends, we boarded, and then we got to Budapest a few hours later. And that's how I left Ukraine. I got to Hungary, Budapest, and then I stayed a couple of days in Budapest, and then I took the evacuation flight and I came home. So I have come to the end of this story. I hope you like it, and yes, that's my journey from Ukraine, or yeah, while in Ukraine, up until the time I got to Budapest, then I got home. Nigeria. I didn't even mention the panic attacks my parents were having, family members, friends, and everything. I remember there was one day, me and my mother, we fought because actually the mental stress was so much, the emotional stress was so much. It wasn't a pleasant experience, but it was an experience. It's something I'm going to tell my kids. I tell them, see, your mother saw war, I fought war. In case you don't know now. So anyways, I'm grateful I'm out, I'm here, hell and hearty, and reunited with my family again, and all of that is history and is an experience worth having. As much as I wouldn't have picked to, or I wouldn't have chosen to be in that situation or have such an experience, I'm glad I have that experience. I mean, I didn't die, I came out alive. So anyways, we've come to the end of this video, come to the end of this story time. I hope you enjoy I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed gisting you guys. Although yeah, I know that I've forgotten and I've left out some details, but of course you get the gist. Please do well to like this video, share, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Till next we see. Bye guys, love you.